إن الحمد لله نحمده ونستعينه ونستغفره ونعوذ بالله من شرور أنفسنا ومن سيئات أعمالنا من يهده الله فلا مضل له ومن يضلل فلا هادي له وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا عبده ورسوله أما بعد فإن أصدق الحديث كتاب الله وخير الهدي هدى محمد صلى الله عليه وسلم وشر الأمور محدثاتها وكل محدثة بدعة وكل بدعة ضلالة وكل ضلالة في النار أجرني وإياكم من النار ثم أما بعد السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Alhamdulillah, we thank Allah Azza wa Jalla for enabling us to continue our Ramadan Tafseer. We have been looking at Suratul Ahzab, the 33rd chapter of the glorious Quran. Today being the 24th Ramadan, 24th day of the month of Ramadan, 1445 years after the hijrah of our noble Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam from Mecca to Medina, which correspond to the 3rd of April, year 2024. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla, all we have been learning, may it serve as benefit for us in this dunya and the akhirah. We have been able to read up to verse 32 yesterday. We have been able to read up to verse 32 where Allah Azza wa Jalla was telling the wives of the Prophet, Ya Nisa an-Nabi, lastunna ka'ahadin min nisa'in in ittaqaytun, fala tahdawna bil qawli fayatma alladhi fi qalbihi marad. وَكُنَّا قَوْلًا مَعْرُوفًا. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He is addressing the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, telling them, reminding them of their status, that they are not like any other women if they fear Allah Azza wa Jalla. And they should not be soft in speech, else the one whose heart is, who has a disease in his heart will begin to long for them, and they should speak. Whenever they want to speak, وَقُلْنَا قَوْلًا مَعْرُوفًا. They should speak that which is correct, that which is good. And we explained yesterday the evil manners, the culture of women speaking in the public, and the manner in which they should speak. And we said that woman speaking in a soft tone is not something that Islam condone. If the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, who are at the top level of taqwa, are being addressed not to be soft in speech, now how much more of women that are not in their level? So it means that their own is even more prioritized. So for that reason, our sisters, we cautioned yesterday that you should be mindful of the way you speak, especially when you speak to strange men that are not your mahram. And even if they are your mahram, you still have to be careful, because we have had a lot of abominations that are happening within the Muslim circle today. Inshallah ta'ala, we move to the next verse. After Allah Azza wa Jalla has given this prohibition to the wives of the Prophet sallallahu, He is now going to give them another command again. وَقَرْنَ فِي بُيُوتِكُمْ.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. وقرن في بيوتكن ولا تبرجن تبرج الجاهلية الأولى وأقمنا الصلاة وآتينا الزكاة وأطعنا الله ورسوله إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم رجز أهل البيت ويطهركم تطهيرا.
Allah Azza wa Jalla, He said in this verse, talking to the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, He said, "Waqarna fi buyutikunna." O wives of the Prophet, waqarna fi buyutikunna. Be established in your home. Stick to your home. Wala tabarrajna, and do not display unwanting display. Tabarruj al-jahiliyyati al-ula, like the display of the people of Jahiliyyah in the first beginning. Bimana, those who were living life that is uncivilized before the coming of the light of Islam. After doing that, waqimna as-salah, Allah instructed them to observe their salah. Wa atina az-zakah, Allah also instructed the women to give zakah. Wa atina Allah wa rasulah, and He commanded them to obey Allah and His messenger. Innama yuridullah liyudhhiba ankum ar-rijs. Certainly Allah Azza wa Jalla only desires to cleanse you from impurity, the people of the household of the Prophet sallallahu wa yutahhirakum tathira. Allah Azza wa Jalla wishes to purify you in the absolute form of purity. This particular verse, وَقَرْنَ فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ, what does it mean? أي أمر الله لهن بالبقاء والمكث والسكون والاستقرار في بيوتهن. Allah is commanding the women. Allah is commanding the women, especially the wives of the Prophet, that they should remain in their home. They should live in their home. They should reside in their home. They should be established in their houses. وَالْأَصْلُ فِي الْأَمْرِ الْوُجُوبِ. And the principle behind any form of command is that it is obligated, that you must do it. So we should listen carefully, O women. Allah Azza wa Jalla is telling you people, وَقَرْنَ فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ. Stay and be established. Remain in your house. وَلَا تَبَرَّجْنَ. And do not begin to go out displaying, unwanting display. Qala Ibn Kathir, rahimahullah. Ibn Kathir mentioned in his Tafseer, he said, إِلْزَمْنَا بُيُوتِكُنَّ. What it means is, you should stick to your houses. فَلَا تَخْرُجْنَا لِغَيْرِ حَاجَةٍ. And do not begin to go out without any need. A woman just like going out of her house. Her bum can never sit down in the house. It's as if something is pinching her. She will be moving around with her. What is she even looking for? Even she herself, she doesn't know. If she does not go to this house, she goes to the other house, as if she does not even have a duty to perform in the house. وَمِنَ الْهَوَائِجِ شَرْعِيَّةِ الصَّلَاةُ فِي الْمَسْجِدِ بِشَرْطِهِ. And from the needs that a woman can fulfill from the Sharia angle that could make a woman to go out of her house is the performance of salah in the masjid. And it has to be with its condition. If those conditions are not met, they are otherwise preferred to remain in their houses. Kama qala sallallahu alayhi wa sallam, as the messenger of Allah had already mentioned, La tamna'u ima Allahi masajid Allah. Do not prevent the servants of Allah, the women, from entering the house of Allah, the masjid of Allah. You understand? Allah Azza wa Jalla, Allah's messenger has commanded that we should never stop you people from coming to the masjid. وَلْيَخْرُجْنَا وَهُنَّ تَفَلَاتْ وَبُيُوتِهِنَّ خَيْرٌ لَهُنَّ. But in spite of that, remaining in your houses is better in order to avoid fitna. Remember yesterday I mentioned that the women are fitna to their counterparts, the men, based on the statement of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, that there is nothing more harmful to man more than the fitna of women. So it is because of this, يَنْدَبُ لَهُنَّ الْقَرَارُ فِي الْبُيُوتِ. They have been encouraged to stay in their houses because it is safer for them and it is more secure for them. The foundation of which a woman should stay is her home. وَإِنْ خَيْفَتِ الْفِتْنَةِ كَانَ الْقَرَارُ عَلَيْهِنَّ وَاجِبًا. And if there is any fear of fitna, then staying in the house becomes wajib. If you know that your wife going out will cause problem, either to herself or to others, then the asli is for her to what? To return back to the house. Let me give an example. Especially women who always want to push to go and work. They want to support their husband. Yes, there is nothing wrong. You want to support your husband so long as you observe all the necessary etiquettes that is needed to be done. But if by doing so, it is now going to be harmful to the society or causing harm to yourself. For example, we have had many women who are working in an office environment and they become, as in, their bosses begin to what? Seduce them, begin to take them out to party. Or she will even be the reason why some men will now be exposed to fitna. So in this case, this kind of woman, it is better for her to remain in her house than going out. Or a woman who, because she has started receiving little change, which it is not compulsory for her to go out, then she now begin to lose her own obligation. What is her obligation? Her obligation is to take care of her husband and her family, her children. But because she is now going out, all in the name of making money, for that reason, she is now losing in her responsibility. So in that case, this kind of woman, she should be stopped as a matter of urgency to remain in her home, because that is her basic responsibility that she's already missing. Or because she's already receiving money, now she can now speak to her husband at will. After all, perhaps she's even richer than her husband. Then in this case, for her to remain in the house has become wajib. Why? Because going out has become a problem. It's causing harm to her, to herself, and to others. I hope we are getting that. وَمِنْهُنَّ يَعْلَمُ أَنَّهُ لَا خَيْرَ فِي خُرُوجِ الْمَرْأَةِ. There is no goodness when the women are made to come out. When a woman come out, it is a problem. Although some women do not actually know, there are people today who are pushing women to come out of their home And they are saying that, deceiving them, that they are actually giving them their freedom. Unfortunately, they fail to understand that they are actually being pushed to slavery. Normally, a woman is meant to enjoy. A woman is meant to enjoy. A woman is not to be allowed to be exposed to danger. Look at the danger we expose ourselves to whenever we go out seeking for means of livelihood. Now imagine how it was so difficult for you as a man. Now imagine your own wife having to be facing that every day. So this is very, very important for us to understand, so that whenever we want to go out, we should balance it. Let's look at it. Which one is better? Staying in the house or going out? You have to weigh them. And it has to be with cogent reason. It has to be with cogent reason. وَلَا يَجُوزُ لَهَا الْخُرُوجُ إِلَّا لِلْحَاجَةِ. It is not permitted for a woman to go out except for a necessity. وَهَذَا أَدَبٌ لِلنِّسَاءِ عَامًا. And all this etiquette is for the generality of all women, not only to the wives of the Prophet. Why? لأن المرأة إذا شغلت نفسها بعمل المطلوب منها من بيتها وفي خدمة زوجها وأولادها ومصالحها لما اتسع الوقت للخروج. That is because if the woman is occupied, if she occupied herself with the house chores, her responsibility in her home, and she is serving her husband and taking care of the children, making sure that she rectifies the home, she will not have time to even go out. Because it is enough as a work, the work of the woman in the house. It is enough for them. Then Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَلَا تَبَرَّجْنَا تَبَرُّجَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ الْأُولَى. Do not begin to what? Display أي تكلف وتعالي الإظهار وكشف ما يجب إخفاؤه أمام الرجال الأجانب بكشف شيء من بدنها أو إظهار شيء من زينة اللباس والطيب والهل وغير ذلك. Tabarruj means when you begin to display that which you are meant to cover in front of strange men, either by you exposing part of your body or your clothes or your zina, that is your beauty from your clothes, or you begin to put perfume while you are going out. Other than this, those things that are not meant to be outside, then you begin to what? Showcase them. وَلَا تَبَرَّجْنَا تَبَرُّجَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ الْأُولَى. Allah Azza wa Jalla said the women should not begin to display their unwanted display of their beauty, the way the people of old used to do. تَبَرُّجَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ الْأُولَى وَهِيَ مَا قَبْلَ الْإِسْلَامِ. That is the way the people used to do before the advent of Islam. Look at today, the way women are being made to come out. Not only were they made to come out, they removed their hijab from them as they were coming out. Today, a woman will put on clothes, but she is still naked. Her whole belly, her belly is still outside, is still showing outside. In those days, when we were very, very small, the people who used to dress like that, we consider them as uncivilized people. Especially some of those, as in Fulanis that are in the bushes. That is the way they dress. Whenever they come outside from their bushes, we'll be looking at them and look at the way you people are. They will not put on a normal clothing. And if you see their men, the way they will do their hair, unfortunately today, it has become the civilization of today. The way those Fulani people, those bush Fulani people used to do then, that we are looking at them, that they are not civilized, that is the way people are dressing today. It has become so unfortunate that we now have to look back and see that they were actually the ones that are civilized. I'm telling you. As if they were already civilized right from onset. This is declination of human value. Today, when you put on your hijab in the manner our sisters have put on their hijab, may Allah bless you people. For you to have put in your hijab, you have saved the society from lots of harm. May Allah reward you people. May Allah give the reward that He gives to those people who rectify the society. May Allah give it to you people. Look at many women that are out there without covering, without hijab. And unfortunately, they have the effrontery to even mock those who are putting on hijab. When you put on hijab, they look at you as if you are not civilized. But they can dress like animals, and they want to tell themselves that they are civilized. How can you be civilized when everything that passes perch at you? Because you are naked. Nothing is now private among us regarding women today. Go to internet. They are displaying their nude in the internet. And unfortunately, they still shout that women are marginalized. You walk in the street of Widna village here, you hardly see a man who will be walking with boxer. A man who will be walking with boxer. Despite the fact that the aura of men is not like the aura of women. But go to the street of Widna, you will see women who will walk around with boxers. Some will even walk without brassiere. Without any form of shame, no shyness anymore. Animals have become better than some human beings. Allah said, "Wala tabarrujna tabarruj al-jahiliyatil ula." This is the way the old people of them used to behave. Because there is no shyness. But we are returning back to the old today. At least there was once a time whereby when a woman is passing and she is not properly dressed, the whole society, the community will frown against her. But today what happened? People are even praising them. Somebody said she is becoming tired of being a man and he now wanted to become a woman. And he said his name is now Bobrisky. And people are now calling him Mommy of Lagos. People are now hailing him. Unfortunately, what is wrong with our society? Our society is sick. Our society has become sick. Look at women are now being used as if they are rags. And they allow themselves to be used. Go to the middle of the night. Go out in the middle of the night. You will see women who are selling their body like commodity. They will hawk their body just to get money. After they will still come back and tell you that they are not respecting women. You are the one who is disrespecting yourself. You are disrespecting womanhood. So it is an uncivilized way of dressing that Allah Azza wa Jalla is warning the women against. That is why Allah Azza wa Jalla, He prohibited that. But if you want to dress for your husband, then it is something that is desired in the Sharia. But once you are outside your home, keep what is private, private. Don't begin to show us your nude. Don't begin to show us your private part. We are not in need of it. Even some animals have some bashfulness more than some human beings today, especially women. Especially women. وليس في أمر الله عز وجل لأزواج النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم بالقرار في بيوتهن ونهيه لهن أن يتبرجن تبرج الجاهلية الأولى ما يدل على عدم قرارهن في بيوتهن ولا عن حصول شيء من التبرج منهن وقد أمر عز وجل النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم في مطلع هذه السورة بالتقوى الله وَهِيَ إِمَامُ الْمُتَّقِينَ. That Allah Azza wa Jalla is telling the wives of the Prophet ﷺ to remain in their homes and telling them that وَلَا تَبَرَّجْنَا تَبَرُّجَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ الْأُولَى does not mean that the wives of the Prophet used to walk around before. That is not what it means. Remember, in the beginning of this verse, we read where Allah Azza wa Jalla was telling his Prophet to fear Allah. Does it mean that the Prophet was not fearing Allah? No. But he was asking him to have dawama in the obedience to Allah Azza wa Jalla. وإذا كانت أزواج النبي ما لهن من السبك والفضل وقوة الإيمان والمكانة الرفيعة بكونهن فراش النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم إذا كنا أمرنا بالقرار في بيوتهن ونهينا أن يتبرجن تبرج الجاهلية الأولى فغيرهن من النساء مأمورات بالقرار في البيوت. Now he's saying that if the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, despite their virtue and their strength in their iman and their lofty position that Allah has placed them, and the fact that they share the same bed with the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, despite that, Allah Azza wa Jalla is telling them, commanding them to remain in their homes and prohibiting them from displaying their unnecessary beauty. Women today, they will tell you after they are displaying themselves unnecessarily, they begin to tell you that it is not all about hijab. It is not all about hijab. It is what? It is the heart. They will tell you it is the heart. This is a lie. This is a lie. You do not have a pure heart more than the wives of the Nabi. But despite that, Allah Azza wa Jalla told them, وَلَا تَبَرَّجْنَا تَبَرُّجَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ الْأُولَى. So other women other than them is even more worthy for them to follow this commandment. And they should be prohibited from displaying unnecessary beauty outside. And this also brings to my attention some of our women who will come to the masjid or anywhere and you will pomade all your faces. You know, you pomade all your faces, Abi. You pomade all your faces. Some of our sisters are going extreme. Extreme in terms of beautification. Yes, you can go extreme so long as it's for your husband. But when you come outside, please do us a favor by putting on niqab. Who do you want to entice here? You want to entice Amir? You want to divorce your husband to come and marry me? Or you want to leave your husband to come and marry any brother here? What do you want our, satisfaction for? So when you're coming to Islamic settings or even anywhere, make sure that you are moderate in everything that you do. No one is saying that you should not beautify yourself, but be moderate in everything you do. Not that you will now decorate your faces in such a way that nobody could even recognize that you are the one coming. And this also goes to the level that some people have taken it to, that they are now bleaching themselves, especially our women. They are using bleaching cream just to shine to their husband. All of this is captured in this prohibition. وَلَا تَبَرَّجْنَا تَبَرُّجَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ الْأُولَى. I hope we are understanding that. So it is now obligatory upon every Muslim woman to remain in their houses and stop moving around, waka waka, except if there is a cogent reason why you should go out. Your place of dwelling is your home, your house. And stop moving out unnecessarily, whereby you now be mixing with men. Just because you want to go and work, you are now mixing with men. Because when you go out, then you are exposing yourself to fitna. Rasulullah sallallahu alayhi wa sallam said, "Ma taraktu ba'di fitnatun adarru ala rijal minan nisa." He said, I have not left after me any fitna that is more harmful to the men other than women. Bimana, the fitna that is more harmful to the men is women. That is harmful to the men. So the best woman is the woman who is always in the house. The worst woman is the one who is always outside. She hardly stays indoor. Because when you stay indoor, you are safe from any form of harm. Nobody will molest you. Nobody is coming to harass you. Or anything that will lead to either loss of life or property. If Allah Azza wa Jalla make it easy for you and you can take care of your duties, do not allow your wife to go out, even if to go and work. You can be giving her the money that she needed, if it is possible. If it is 50,000 naira, you can be paying her a salary, so that she won't have to do anything, so that she can concentrate on her duty. Yes, the reason why some of our women wishes to work is because perhaps they also have some responsibility of taking care of their own parents, perhaps. And sometimes the stipend that you give them, the allowances that you give them is not enough. So they needed to also add. So there is need for us to what? To look at the sideways, the positive and the negative, the consequences of that action, of that decision. So that you will not push your wife to that which will cause her problem. Many women today, they have decided to leave their husband's house because of the fact that they have started working. Yes, she now honors her bosses more than her husband. So much that if her bosses should call her in the middle of the night, that I need you right now in the office, she does not care the wishes of her husband. She will drop whatever she is doing in the house and run to her bosses. And this, in essence, is bad for her in this dunya and the akhirah. After Allah Azza wa Jalla has commanded the women to remain in their homes, and He has prohibited them from tabarruj, where they begin to display their ornaments, Allah Azza wa Jalla now commanded them with good deeds. Wa aqimna salah.
وَأَقِمْنَا الصَّلَاةَ وَآتِينَا الزَّكَاةَ وَأَطِعْنَا اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ. Allah
Azza wa Jalla commanded them to observe salah. Salat has to do with the compulsory aspect of it and also the supererogatory aspect of it. Wa aqimna salah, iqamatu tamma. Allah Azza wa Jalla did not say they should just pray, but He said they should what? Establish prayer. By what? By observing all of its conditions of salah. By doing all of the pillars of salah and the wajib and the sunnah of it. If you want to do ruku, do it perfectly well. You want to go for sujood, do it perfectly well. That is what it means by iqamatu salah. That is because if somebody were to pray alone without actually establishing prayer, bimana iqamatu salah, you just observe prayer and there is no room, no khushu in your prayer, your sujood is not done well, or your ruku is not done well, then you will not have the benefit of praying. That's why the Prophet ﷺ told us in a hadith, reported by Abu Dawood. He said that a man will pray, and after he finished prayer, he will not have reward except illa ashru salati, except 1/10. Some will have 1/9. Some will have 1/8, 1/7, 1/6, 1/5, 1/4. Up till the time he says some will have only half of his reward. Because of the fact that while you were praying, you were not actually observing it in the complete manner. But rather, you were just moving your body without even paying any consideration to your prayer. Then Allah said, وَأَتِينَا الزَّكَاةَ بِمَعْنَا وَأَطَيْنَا الزَّكَاةَ وَادْفَعْنَاهَا لِمُسْتَحِقِّيهَا. Bimana, you should observe your zakah, your due, your charity. Pay them to those people who are deserving of them. So zakat is that particular right of wealth that is measured from a particular wealth in a particular time to a particular people. The people that are supposed to be giving zakatul mal, they are 8 in number. It is already stated in which surah? Suratul Tawbah. So go and learn it. I will not tell you where it is. Go and check. وَقَدْ تَشْمِلُ الزَّكَاةُ هُنَا مَا يَؤُمُّ الْوَاجِبُ وَالصَّدَقَةُ. The zakat that Allah is mentioning here comprises of the one that is obligatory and the one that is not obligatory, which is the sadaqah that we do. So you as a woman, and also men as well in general, we should learn to what? Do almsgiving. Give zakat. Zakat al-fitr is coming. Do if Allah Azza wa Jalla bless you. And if it is normal sadaqah, be doing that one on a daily basis. On a daily basis, a day should not come except that you give sadaqah. Remember I mentioned some days ago that Allah's messenger said that 2 angels will be coming. There's no day except 2 angels will come. And they will be making prayer each. One will say, oh Allah, give to the one, give a replacement to the one who used to give out. And destroy the one who used to withhold. So stinginess is not a trait of the believer. That is why the Prophet said, La yadkhulul jannah bahilun wala mannan. So if a woman has wealth, she has been blessed with wealth, gives zakat, or even sadaqah, as the case may be. وَحَصُّ الصَّلَاةِ وَالزَّكَاةِ بِذِكْرِ مِنْ بَيْنِ سَائِرِ الْعِبَادَةِ لِأَنَّ فِي الصَّلَاةِ الْإِخْلَاصِ لِلْمَعْبُودِ سُبْحَانَهُ. Allah Azza wa Jalla mentioned 2 ibadat here. The first one is salah, and the second one is what? Zakat. So the first one, which is salah, is the right of Allah Azza wa Jalla. Is the sincerity that one is the connection between one and Allah Azza wa Jalla, and is the greatest ibadat that one can ever do, which is salah. As for the zakah, it is the kindness and goodness that you show to the servants of Allah, and it is as far the best ibadah you can do as regards your wealth, giving it out, spending them. Then Allah now told them, وَأَطِيعُوا اللَّهَ وَرَسُولَهُ. You should obey Allah and His Messenger by doing whatever Allah commanded you and His Messenger commanded you, from that which is compulsory upon you to do, and the mustahabbat, those that are encouraged for you to do, and leaving that which Allah and His Messenger has prohibited you from. وَمِنْ ذَلِكَ الْقِيَامُ بِمَا أَمَرَ بِهِ النَّهْيُ عَنْهُ مَا يَتَعَلَّقُ بِحُقُوقِ الزَّوْجِيَّةِ. From those things that Allah Azza wa Jalla has commanded you and also prohibited you, are those things that has connection to what? To the right of your husband. I hope we are getting it. One brother mentioned, and this is correct, he said that if we see our husband or our wife as a means of ibadah, we will not be having problem. We won't be having problem. Bimana, you are seeking the pleasure of Allah through your wife, you are seeking the pleasure of Allah through your husband, Allah will be rewarding you. Isn't it true? Allah Azza wa Jalla mentioned that when you even meet your wife and both of you have intimacy, you enjoy yourselves in bed, it is counted as sadaqah. It is counted as charity. So it means if you have the right intention in dealing with your wife, it will be counted as charity. Even a smile, you smile with your wife, is counted as charity with the right intention. Even the feeding, you spoon feed your wife or your husband, is counted as what? Sadaqah. BMT will always say that the only time you see the husband spoon feeding their wife is only when the wife is sick. The only time you see the husband and wife will be walking around, they are taking a walk. Perhaps they have already sprayed the house with insecticide, so they need to get out of the house. You hardly see a man and a woman, husband and wife, they just want to take a walk. إنما يريد الله ليذهب عنكم الرجس أهل البيت. All of this, if you observe it in the right way, Allah said that He only desires to what? To purify, to remove impurity from the people, that is from the household of the Nabi sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Bimana, if they are established in their homes and they do not do tabarruj, they are doing salah, they are doing zakah, and they are obeying Allah and His Messenger, then Allah Azza wa Jalla, He will use this to what? To remove every form of what? Impurity, ridge from them. Every form of awkward attitude, He will take it away from them. They will be free from kufr, they will be free from shirk, they will be free from committing sin and bad character. In fact, it is when a woman begins to go outside her home. Listen to this. When a woman begins to go outside her home, all of what I have mentioned, there is likely possibility that she begins to behave in that way. The woman begins to go out of her home, she begins to make bad friends. Very soon she will be taken to a shirk center. Yes. She will now be advised in the wrong way that you need to what? Protect your husband. You need to do this. Let me take you to one Baba to go and do one this thing for you. Then they will now give you a sheet that has already dried. They will ask you to grind it and put inside the food for your husband. Your husband will now be eating shit with mangi. Do you understand? Shirk. Because she used to go out all the time. Some of our men, they do not care where their women go to. It also leads them to kufr. It could lead them to kufr. It could lead them to sins, especially amebo, backbiting, sins. Wasayyil ahlak. Before you know it, because the woman is always going outside of her home, she begins to exhibit bad character. Waqabihil a'mal. You begin to see ugliness in her what? In her deeds, in her actions. Why? Because she's going out all the time. She never stays in her house. And the husband does not care. Now he mentioned Ahlul Bayt just now. Who are the Ahlul Bayt? Because Ahlul Bayt, some people have already taken that name for themselves, as if they are the owner of the name, Ahlul Bayt. You know, as I mentioned Ahlul Bayt now, who did you quickly begin to see? Shia. لقد اختص أهل البيت النبوي الشريف بمزايا عظيمة. Allah Azza wa Jalla has given a distinctive nobility, a special rank to the people called Ahlul Bayt. And they have been given a lofty position and a virtue that cannot be counted. You know, they are not measurable. In fact, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam has advised the Ummah that we should what? We should be kind to the people of what? Ahlul Bayt, to the Ahlul Bayt. When he said, "Uzakkirukumullah fi bayti, uzakkirukumullah fi Ahlul Bayti, uzakkirukum fi Ahlul Bayti." I remind you of Allah regarding my family, Who are the family of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam? Unfortunately, many people in this particular advice of the Prophet, many people have now been categorized into so many categories in the way they deal with the Ahlul Bayt. Some of them have gone extreme. They transgress the limits in the way they relate with them to such a level that they have taken them more than the way they are. And there are some of them that has made enmity of who? Of the Ahlul Bayt. They have held them as enemy. And there are some, وَمِنْهُمْ الْمُقْتَصِدُ. There are some who are the moderate. May Allah Azza wa Jalla make us among the moderates. And those are the Ahlul Sunnah wal Jama'ah. الَّذِينَ كَانُوا بِحَقِّ أَسْعَدِ النَّاسِ بِحِفْظِ وَصِيَّةِ رَسُولِ اللَّهِ. They are the one who is blessed among the people in safeguarding the wasiyah of the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alaihi wasallam regarding his family. Our ulama, they have already mentioned the definition of who the Ahlul Bayt is. They have so many definitions of who are the Ahlul Bayt. Some of them mention that in Ahlul Bayt, Bayt al-Nabi, hum azwajuhu wa zuriyatuhu. They are the wives of the Prophet, the children of the Prophet, wa banu Hashim wa banu al-Muttalib. The Banu Hashim, the Banu al-Muttalib wa mawalihim, and all those people who are their ally. Some of them said that the Ahlul Bayt are the people of Quraysh. Some of them said that the Ahlul Muhammad, they are the Atqiya min ummatihi. They are those people who fear Allah Azza wa Jalla from the ummah of Rasulullah sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The best definition of who the Ahlul Bayt is that the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, they are the Ahlul Bayt. They also form part of the Ahlul Bayt. Because if you notice in this particular verse, after Allah Azza wa Jalla has talked about the issue of what? The issue of hijab. وَقَرْنَا فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ وَلَا تَبَرَّجْنَا تَبَرُّجَ الْجَاهِلِيَّةِ الْأُولَى. What did Allah now say? إِنَّمَا يُرِيدُ اللَّهُ لِيُذْهِبَ عَنْكُمْ الرِّجْسَ عَلَى الْبَيْتِ. Because if you look at it, he is discussing with the wives of the Prophet. And he now mentioned this. This is to show that it is directed to the wives of the Prophet. The Ahlul Bayt here are the wives of the Prophet. And the fact that the Ahlul Bayt, لَا تَهِلُّ لَهُنَّ صَدَقَةً. Those who are called Ahlul Bayt, it is not lawful for them to take sadaqah. Because of the hadith of the Prophet reported by Imam Ahmad, he said, Inna sadaqata la tahillu li ali Muhammad. Sadaqah is not permitted for the family of Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Wa zawjatuhu bila shakkin min alihi. And the wife of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, without any doubt, is from his family. So the wives of the Prophet are from his family. Sayyidina Ali is from the family of the Prophet. Fatima too, Az-Zahra, is also from the family of the Prophet. Hassan and Hussein, the grandchildren of the Prophet, are from him. All of these people are from Ahlul Bayt because they are related to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And everyone whom sadaqah is haram for them to take, they are the Ahlul Bayt. And those are the Banu Hashim. All of them, they are from Ahlul Bayt. So this explanation invalidates the claim of the Rawafid, the Shia, the people of Zakizaki that we know, who are counting only the people of the Ahlul Bayt. They said that it is only Sayyidina Ali, Fatima, Hassan, and Hussein. That's all. When they say Ahlul Bayt, to them is Hassan, Hussein, Fatima, and Sayyidina Ali. So they remove the wives of the Prophet from the Ahlul Bayt. And not only do they do that, some of them, they accuse the wife of the Prophet, Aisha radiallahu anha, of having committing fornication. Waliyauzu billah. May Allah Azza wa Jalla give them what they deserve. Aisha radiallahu anha, she is tahiratul mutahhira, al-mubarra'atu min fawqi sab'i samawat. Allah Azza wa Jalla revealed verses to declare the innocence of Aisha radiallahu anha. But unfortunately, the Shia, because they are bastards, they do not respect their mother. Remember in the beginning of this verse, we said that the wives of the Prophet, they are who? They are the mothers of the believers. So if the wives of the Prophet are the mothers of the believer, do you tell your mother that your mother has committed fornication, even when you do not have any evidence? So that's why I said that they are what? They are bastards. And that is why when you see them, they really behave like bastards. May Allah continue to use one oppressor to also oppress them. Yes. Just like Buhari used all his 8 years to oppress them, we also hope that this one that is coming in should also use his whole time to oppress them, inshallah. Allah Azza wa Jalla now says, وَيُطَهِّرَكُمْ تَطْهِيرًا. وَفِي هَذَا فَضْلٌ مِّنْهُ. This is a what? This is a blessing from Allah Azza wa Jalla to the wives of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, and a favor upon the household of the Nabi. Where Allah Azza wa Jalla is what? Is encouraging them to what? Is encouraging them to be thankful to Allah, and to always remember Allah Azza wa Jalla, and to be grateful to Him by what? Bifil al-awamir, bifil awamirihi wa ijtinabi nawahi, by doing that which is obligatory upon them and going away from his prohibitions. Because Allah Azza wa Jalla wishes to what? He wishes to remove, impurity from them, from their character. Now Allah Azza wa Jalla now said, وَاذْكُرْنَا مَا يُتْلَى فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ
وَاذْكُرْنَا مَا يُتْلَى فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ مِنْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ وَالْحِكْمَةِ إِنَّ اللَّهَ كَانَ لَطِيفًا خَبِيرًا.
Allah Azza wa Jalla said, وَاذْكُرْنَا مَا يُتْلَى فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ. Allah is still addressing the wives of the Prophet. Although it is the address to the wives of the Prophet, but it is the address to all of them, all women. He said, وَاذْكُرْنَا مَا يُتْلَى فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ. Remember, and remember that which is being recited in your homes. Min ayatillahi, from the verses of Allah, wal hikmah, and the hikmah, wisdom. Inna Allah kana latifan khabira. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He is subtle and He is well aware of what you do. Allah Azza wa Jalla, after telling them of doing an action, which we have mentioned before this time, and some prohibition, Allah Azza wa Jalla is commanding the wives of the Prophet now to what? Amarahunna bil ilm. Allah is commanding them to what? To be encouraged in searching for knowledge. Wa bayyana tariqahu. And how should they search for it? وَاذْكُرْنَا مَا يُتْلَى فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ مِنْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ وَالْحِكْمَةِ. قَوْلُهُ وَاذْكُرْنَا الْخِطَابُ لِلنِّسَاءِ النَّبِيِّ صلى الله عليه وسلم. This is an address to the wives of the Prophet, that they should remember, they should be reading, they should what? Reflect and ponder that which is being recited in their homes. مَا يُتْلَى فِي بُيُوتِكُنَّ مِنْ آيَاتِ اللَّهِ وَالْحِكْمَةِ, from the verses of Allah and the Sunnah. وَأَمَنَّ بِهِ, and they should work on them, work with them. And they should acknowledge the favor of Allah on them, that Allah Azza wa Jalla has bestowed on them. وَبَلَّغْنَاهُ لِلنَّاسِ, and Allah Azza wa Jalla is telling them in this verse that they should proclaim the what? The verses of Allah, that which is being recited in their house. وَاذْكُرْنَا مَا يُتْلَى fi buyutikun min ayatillah. When they say yutlat, which is tilawa, a tilawa is divided into two. There is the tilawatul lafziyah, which is the qira'ah, which the one in which we used to read, and there is the tilawatul manawiyah, which is the one which we have to follow what we are reading. Do you understand? So wa huwa al-ittiba'ul Qur'an fi aqaidihi. That is by you following the Quran in its creed, what? In its belief system. Wafi ahlaki, and also in the behavior that the Quran wants you to take. In your deeds, how your action should be. You have to also follow it in the way the Quran asks you to do. This is also called tilawa as well. I hope you understand that. Now, which one is the better? Reading the Quran and following what the Quran says, which one is better? Which one is the targeted, objective? Which one is desired in the Sharia? Because today we see people who have mastered the way, the Quran, but unfortunately, they do not master the obedience, the ittiba, the following of what the Quran wants them to do. So we must know that the one that is the best to follow is to follow what you read. Not just continue reading, even despite the fact that there is no doubt that reading the Quran is something that is also desired in the Sharia. Because whoever reads even a single letter from the book of Allah, he will have 10 reward. But the most important, lakin al-muhim, at-tilawat al-ma'nawiyya. The essence why Allah revealed the Quran is not only for you to read, in which people are now memorizing the Quran today. They are perfecting their recitation in order to attend different kinds of musabaqah, different kinds of Quran competition. But when you see the person who is perfect in the Quran, when you look at his life, he's far away from the Quran. Allah Azza wa Jalla mentioned in the Quran, Suratul, verse 29, He said, Kitabun anzalnahu ilayka mubarakun liyadabbaru ayati. Allah said, this is a book. We reveal it ilayka to you, O Muhammad. It's a blessed book. Why did Allah reveal the book? Liyadabbaru ayati. In order for you to ponder and work with it. Waliyazakkaru ulul albab. So that the men of understanding, those who possess understanding, will be able to remember it and will be able to work with them. So it's as if Allah Azza wa Jalla is saying that Ihfazna wa amirullah, that you should safeguard the commandment of Allah and run away from his prohibition. And that which is being recited in your home from the verses of Allah, safeguard them. فأمر الله سبحانه وتعالى أن يخبرنا بما ينزل من القرآن في بيوتهن. Allah Azza wa Jalla is commanding these women that they should also what? They should inform the people that which is being revealed of the Quran in their home. Bimana, if Allah Azza wa Jalla teaches them anything, they should also teach the Ummah. Whatever they see the Prophet Islam doing, they should also teach the Ummah. That is why the companions, they used to go and ask the wives of the Prophet questions regarding the home that has to do with intimacy. They will be asking the wives of the Prophet. The wives of the Prophet will be teaching the companions what the Prophet Islam used to do. For example, some of the askar that come to us in how the Prophet Islam used to do with his wives whenever he's in the house, we wouldn't have known except through the wives of the Prophet. They are the one teaching the companions, and the companions are teaching the Ummah. So whatever they hear of the Prophet ﷺ, because the Prophet ﷺ, the Quran was revealed to him in many places. Sometimes he's in his home, and Quran will be revealed to him. So the only people that may be there is his wife. So it is now binding upon that wife that has had the revelation to also convey it to those who have not had it, until everyone will now hear it, so that they will now work with it and follow it. All of this is an evidence. وَهَذَا يَدُلُّ عَلَى جَوَازِ قُبُولِ خَبَرُ الْوَحِيدِ مِنَ الرِّجَالِ وَالنِّسَاءِ فِي الدِّينِ. This is an evidence that it is permitted to accept an information through one single chain, whether man or a woman, as far as the deen is concerned. There are people today who they also claim Islam. They said they do not accept the hadith called, hadith ahad. And that is what they are trying to establish in Saudi. As we had that man over there, what is his name? MBS, saying that the hadith ahad has to be taken out of the Islamic literatures. And this is a lie from them. Because there are so many times in which the Prophet Islam will do something and the only person that will be with him is only one person. So it is now upon that person to convey what he has seen, so long as that person is trustworthy. So long as that person is trustworthy. So this is an evidence. If the Prophet Islam did something in the presence of Aisha, it is sufficient that he has already conveyed the message. He must not have to go outside all the time and say that, do you know the verse that was revealed to me today? Okay, he will go to the Abu Bakr. He said, Abu Bakr, do you know the verse that has been revealed to me? He will go to Umar. Umar, do you know the verse that has been revealed to me? He will not teach him. He will not be going to everybody's house to teach one particular verse. No, that is not how the revelation works. Whenever Allah Azza wa Jalla revealed any verses, anyone who hear it, it is sufficient that Allah's messenger has already conveyed the message. So it is now upon that person to convey that message to others who have never had it. I hope we are understanding this. There are people today who call themselves Hizbut Tahrir. They are here in Kuba and they are very, very good. They have good numbers in Kuba here. Hizbut Tahrir. And they said they don't work with what? Hadith Ahad. And they are writing books to go against Hadith Ahad. Some of them said, oh, even if you work with Hadith Ahad, there must be a collaborating evidence to accept it. Who told you? Ibn al-Arabi said that في هذه الآية, Ibn al-Arabi is not the one that is a Sufi, is another one. في هذه الآية مسألة البديئة وهي أن الله تعالى أمر نبيه بتبليغ ما أنزل عليه من القرآن. Let's listen. He said that Allah Azza wa Jalla commanded his prophet to convey everything that he has revealed unto him from Quran. وَتَعْلِيمُ مَا عَلَّمَهُ مِنَ الدِّينِ, and to teach people what Allah has taught him of the religion. فَكَانَ إِذَا قَرَأَ عَلَى وَاحِدٍ, if Allah's messenger has already read this upon only one person or a group of people, سَقَطَ عَنْهُ الْفَرْضُ. So it is not obligatory upon him that he has to go around every person in this ummah to read out for that person. That is why you see that when it has to do with issue of the Quran, you see some of the companions, they have some particular aspect of the Quran which the other one did not have. Because all of them are not together when the Quran is being revealed. It is possible that the Quran was revealed in the house of Aisha radiallahu anha, and she informed the likes of Abu Huraira, Abdullah bin Abbas and the likes. And perhaps Muawiyah, who is also far away, may not have been opportune to hear that a verse has been revealed. I hope we are getting that. وَكَانَ عَلَى مَنْ سَمِعَهُ أَنْ يُبَلِّغُهُ إِلَى غَيْرِهِ. Then it is now upon whoever has heard it to convey the message to others. وَلَا يَلْزِمُهُ أَنْ يُذْكَرَ لِجَمِيعِ الصَّحَابَةِ. It is not binding on the prophet that he has to relate whatever Allah has given him of wahi to all of the companions. No. وَلَا كَانَ عَلَيْهِ إِذَا أَلَّمَ ذَلِكَ أَزْوَاجَهُ أَنْ يَخْرُجَ إِلَى النَّاسِ. It is not also obligatory on him that after he has taught something to his wives, then he has to still go outside and begin to teach others. If he taught it to his wives, then it is sufficient for the wives to now begin to what? Convey it to others that are not there. I hope we are learning. So it is not upon him to begin to say to everybody he meet, Nazala kaza wala kana kaza. ولهذا كنا يجوز الأمل بخبر بصرى في إيجاب الوضوء من مس الذكر. You know, there is a hadith that come in Bulugul Maram regarding the mas'ala of if somebody were to touch his private part, is his ablution invalidated or not? Then there is a hadith that came from Busra. You understand? Busra, where she said that the Prophet ﷺ said that whoever touches his private part, then he should perform ablution again. Some are now going against this hadith because it is hadith so ahad. That she's the only one. No, but the ulama said no, that hadith is authentic. That it is hadith ahad does not mean that we have to take it away. The only thing that the scholars now went and explained is that perhaps what the hadith means is if you are touching your private part and you are touching it, stimulating it. That is what it means. Not just ordinary touching. Because the other one says, when the Prophet was asked regarding touching of the private part, whether it invalidates wudu, the Prophet said it is only a part of you. It is only a part of your body. Bimana, it does not invalidate wudu. So it will only invalidate wudu when you start what? When you start touching it in a way that is not right. That is because Busra related what she had from the Prophet ﷺ, and she also conveyed it the way she has understood it. So it is not what? It is not binding on the Prophet ﷺ that he has to go to the men and begin to tell everybody whatever he has already told his women. Then Allah Azza wa Jalla said, Min ayatillahi wal hikmah. Min ayatillah. The ayah of Allah here is the Quran. So the Quran is being recited in the house of the Prophet ﷺ, in the house of these women. Bimana, they should follow it. They should apply the rulings in the Quran. And they should work with, their morals should be with the Quran in their home. Because it is a book of guidance. It is a book that teaches you how to live your life. The hikmah here is the sunnah, the prophetic sunnah. As Allah Azza wa Jalla has said, وَأَنزَلَ اللَّهُ عَلَيْكَ الْكِتَابِ وَالْحِكْمَةِ. Allah Azza wa Jalla revealed the Quran and the hikmah. So the sunnah is also revealed from Allah Azza wa Jalla. Any sunnah is revealed. Why? لأنها وإن كانت من فعل رسول أو قوله أو تقريره فهي وحي من عند الله. Even though it is a statement of Allah's messenger or his action or that which he established, there is no doubt that it is a revelation from Allah Azza wa Jalla. Remember Allah said, وَمَا يَنْتِقُ عَنِ الْهَوَىٰ إِنْ هُوَ إِلَّا وَحْيٌ يُوحَىٰ. That Allah's messenger will not utter any statement. He will not do any action except that he has been inspired by Allah. It is Allah Azza wa Jalla that revealed it to him. So Allah Azza wa Jalla is telling you here that these women, they should recognize the fadl of Allah upon them of ni'mah, and they should be grateful to Allah upon that by pondering over the Quran, reading the Quran, narrating whatever the Quran is saying to the people, and the Sunnah of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, both lafziyan wa ma'nawiyan, that I've already mentioned. They should read it and they should also work with it. They should follow it and they should work in that which the Quran has already come to teach, and all of the good action that the Quran has come to teach the people, and they should convey it to others after they start working with them. After they start working with them. Because of time, there is one more thing that I just want to say here in order to finish this particular verse. This particular verse is also, it is an evidence here that the Sunnah, as much as the Quran is revealed, the Sunnah is also revealed. This is actually a refutation, a rejoinder to those who are calling themselves the Quraniyun. They say they only what? They only work with the Quran, they don't work with Hadith. And they are getting in their numbers today. Many deviants are just sprouting. They are called Hadith rejectors. They say they don't work with Hadith. In the Hausa land, they call them Kalakatu, Abi. Kalakatu. When you ask them how they pray, in fact, we have different meaning of their prayer. How many times do we pray? They say 3 times. Okay, if it is 3 times, how many rakah? They said you don't need to do any rakah. Just be praying like that. You understand? So they have their own religion, and it is different from the religion of our Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. And that is why the scholars have made takfir on them. You understand? They are kuffar because they disbelieve in that which has been revealed to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The Quran and the Sunnah was revealed to the Prophet. So how can you say La ilaha illallah, but you don't want to say Muhammad Rasulullah? And it is one of the conditions of saying Muhammad Rasulullah that you have to believe in that which has informed you. So to them, all of these salat that we are doing, they call it man-made practice. Because they said salat is not found in the Quran. So anything that is not found in the Quran should be taken away. Then we now ask them, how did you get the Quran? Did the Quran fall from heaven? How did you get the Quran? They will say the Quran was written by people. Then those who wrote it, who are they? They are the companions. Now you trusted them, but you don't want to trust them when they tell you that you should follow the hadith. So these people, they are the Orientalists. They are people who have been planted into Islam. They are not Muslims, even though they are bearing our names, and we should not be seeing them as Muslims. Allah Azza wa Jalla ended this verse by saying, Inna Allah kana latifan habira. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He is kind to those people who are what? Who are followers of His, who are obeying Him, His awliya, His friends. And Allah Azza wa Jalla is habir. He knows those things that are obscure, those things that are not clear to people. Allah Azza wa Jalla, He knows it. Wa habiran bitadbiril zahira wal batina. Allah Azza wa Jalla knows that which is hidden and that which is what? Which is open. Wa habiran bihajatil ibad. And Allah Azza wa Jalla, He is informed, He is well informed of the needs of His servant and all of their masali, those things that will rectify their situation. So this is where we are going to stop today. Tomorrow, inshallah, the whole of tomorrow, we are going to be taking a very important verse in this surah. And this is the only verse that has this kind of a configuration. innal muslimina wal muslimati wal mu'minina wal mu'minati wal qanitina wal qanitati was sadiqina was sadiqati was sabirina was sabirati wal khashiina wal khashiati wal mutasaddiqina wal mutasaddiqati was saimina was saimati wal hafizina furujahum wal hafizat waz zakirina Allah kaseeran waz zakirat a'adda Allah lahum maghfiratan wa ajran azima. We ask Allah Azza wa Jalla to count us among these people. Subhanaka Allahumma bihamdik ashhadu an la ilaha illa anta astaghfiruka wa atubu ilayk. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.